Well, hey guys, voiceover Annie Noodle here, and since it is the first of the year, I thought we would have a ceremonial changing of the fancy studio calendars together. I got rid of my Omarion calendar, which I love, and got this new fancy J.R.R. Tolkien calendar. Yeah, I'm excited to see what's in there. I try not to ever look. Uh, so other than that, today we are doing an inventory. As I've been talking about on my channel for a while now, I am going to do a no-buy this year. So before that happens, I have to look at all the stuff I have. So I've decided to start out with the surfaces, and I'm including things that I just want to paint on that are three-dimensional and things that are flat that I can paint on, but I'm leaving everything out of this that is something that I'm probably going to sculpt on. I'm going to put that in a different area. Like, I'm keeping my painting life and my sculpting life different as far as my inventory goes. If that makes sense to you. Hooray! I got the first little bit done. I'm so happy. Oh, there's so much left to do. So I am exploring. Yes, I'm wearing Crocs. They're furry. Um, I'm exploring all of the drawers of my giant flat file. And then here I have a couple of full sheets of Arches watercolor paper that I got from Blick that I need to make sure to use this year because I don't want the sizing in them to get bad. If you haven't had watercolor paper sit around for a few years, the sizing can go. And what that means is that, like, when you paint on it with your watercolor, the watercolor doesn't spread like it should, and it kind of soaks into the paper instead, and it doesn't look nice. So I got a whole bunch of paper. This is Canson Heritage, and it's got a really nice texture to it. And I was really excited to paint on it. And like I said, I got it on clearance, and the sizing's gone. So I really thought about just because I have a lot of it, a lot. Let's in fact check this inventory sheet. Yes, I have a lot of it. And I got it to do bookbinding with so that I could make my own watercolor sketchbooks. And instead I'll just use it for gouache. It's not going to get thrown away. It's the same with this Bockingford. All of this watercolor paper is not something I will use for watercolor, but these Arches sheets on the bottom, I need to make sure to use them this year. So all this stuff that's giant that you're seeing me put back in here is all going to go into books, except for this, which is illustration board. I'm not worried about that going bad. Woohoo! I also have some fabric stashed in here to use for bookbinding, most of which is from my personal hoard. Although this thing with the weird sun, got it at a garage sale. I also like to grab fabric at garage sales. I do have a sewing room upstairs, and yes, it is probably also in need of some reorganizing and an inventory. Maybe I should do an inventory there next. So, in case you're wondering why this is taking me so very long to do, I will show you some of my process here. For anything that I have tubes of paint for, which is a lot of stuff, I don't just write down like, oh, I have a set of 48 Arteza gouache or whatever. I'm writing down every single tube that I have, because as I go through the year, I want to be able to make note of which colors that I'm using, and I mean, like, hey, if I'm running out of stuff too, that would be great. Like, I want to be able to keep track of each one of these separately, so it's definitely a process to write all of that out. Yeah. So that's what I'm doing for all of the things that I have tubes of, and then for anything that there's like a set of, like, that's my colored pencils and my markers, and my palettes that are already poured out into pans. I want to keep track of the times that I use those. And I mean, like, if I run out of anything in those two, I'd like to keep track of that. So, look, those I'm just tracking as sets, and I'm just checking, like, I'm literally, like, I have, like, that column on the far right that just lets me put tally marks down when I use something. So, like, whether it's a tube or a palette, I can just be like, I used this 4 times throughout the year. I didn't use it up, but, I am definitely using it at least, occasionally. So that's good. And then I wanted to chat a little bit about, because it is January 1st, and darn it, I am getting this video out today. So apart from my no-buy, I wanted to talk about, like my big projects that I want to work on this year, and like maybe like my art goals, which I haven't really solidified my goals for my life this year. I know I want to make a calendar for 2024, and so I have to look a little bit more into how long the production of a calendar is going to take, and like if there's any place good that is cost effective that I can get that done locally, or even like in the United States, or if I'm going to have it printed in China and shipped over. Because obviously that's going to take a lot longer. So then, like, like maybe something that like I ship locally or I print locally, I wouldn't have to have anything done until like September or whatever. But if I want to have it printed overseas, I should probably get the art done in like March or something. And like maybe I can even do a Kickstarter to hopefully get some backing, or to like just gauge interest to see who would want these. I think it's going to be cool. I'm not going to tell you what is going to be on the calendar, but I will tell you that I will do at least some of the pieces here on the channel. So, stay tuned for that. And I meant to start a Patreon, and I wanted to pretend that I'm organized and that I plan ahead, and that I was going to get this set up to start on January 1st for that, like, really nice, like, clean, I just started the year out with a Patreon. Yeah. No. February 1st is now what I'm aiming for. So, and on my Patreon, I'll probably have like coloring book pages and maybe like a digital download of like an artwork tier. And then I might do reference photos if there's interest in that. I've been to a lot of places and I tend to take a lot of pictures. So if there's interest in reference photos, I wouldn't mind sharing some of those. And then I'd like to do something like that I can physically mail out to people. So I haven't exactly figured out how my tiers will work, but that's coming. That's coming. So, yep. And then I'm also like just thinking of like overall this year, I would like to do more portraits, especially like learning how to capture the likeness well, because I'm not super great. Like, I like my portraits, but sometimes I look at them and I'm like, that looks sort of like you can tell who that's supposed to be, but it's not quite right. Like the most recent one I did, well, other than Rowan, and I like, again, like looking at Rowan, who was like the last video that I put up was a portrait, and like he's similar, looks nearly like Rowan, but not quite. So that's where I always land in, so I want to get better at that. And then I have seen some really great reference photos in some of the groups that I'm in that are just of animal close-ups. And I would love to do some like animal portraits this year. I think that would be really fun. Some that aren't just silly, because I know that I get the silly, like goofy vibe going a lot, but I've seen some like really nice, like very touching, like mountain gorilla, like portraits. Honestly, that's what they are, is portraits. So I would love to do some of those. Okay, So clearly, there are a lot of reasons to be doing this inventory and to be doing a no-buy in general. And I just came across a couple really good examples. These are all of my tubes of watercolor. First of all, I have a whole bunch of M. Graham watercolors that I have never used. So I definitely want to try playing with those. I got myself some Lunar Black, which is PBK 11. Oh, camera, you're gonna do it. You're gonna do it. There we go. Good job. Because it's granulating, so it's fun to mix with other things. I literally bought it for this, and I have never opened it. And then I have not just one of these, but two. Whoop, there we go. Two random grays. I bought these so I could play with them, just like purely because I love the way they separate. And every year, woo, every year gets its own random gray. And if I'm thinking correctly, some years it's watercolor and some years it's other kinds of paint. Like, I don't think watercolor gets a random gray every year. Although if they do, I will happily buy it. Because this is just like, I know it keeps going out of focus. I'm really sorry. This is just like whatever we have left at the end of the year, we're gonna slap it together and make it into a gray, and it is so fun to play with. And I was so excited to get these, and they have sat here untouched for months. Like, I think almost a year. Like, I think I got them this spring. So I'm gonna play with these this year. I have two of these. I have two of them, and in the same little cubby thing, I have Volcano Yellow and Volcano Red. Oh my goodness, my hands are so dry, so I can't hang on anything. But do you know how excited I was to get these? And they're not cheap. And I got them, and I was so excited, and they have just sat here. I'm telling you guys, I am so excited for this no. I'm gonna stop moving around so they stop going out of focus. I'm so excited for this no buy. I'm so glad I'm doing this inventory. I have so many project ideas that I want to do. And I mean, the only bad thing is that I've been doing this like literally all day, and I am not done. I don't even know if I'm halfway done. I don't know if I have it in me. And now I'm out of focus again. Oh, no. Oh, and look at all these cool, these are all Daniel Smith colors. I did like a little art exchange with somebody that I know in that I'm friends with on Discord. And we did like an art exchange, and look at all these. And I don't know that I don't think I've ever even swatched them. They've just been sitting in here. And yeah, I don't think I have any of these colors. I am so excited, and I was so excited to get them, and they've just been sitting here. And this is a Beam Paints container. Ignore that. I am so excited. Like, seriously, I cannot even. Guys, I cannot even. Okay, so I'm moving on to inventorying. Huh. So moving on to my sketchbooks. What the heck is the word I'm trying to think of? Inventorying. That's a word? Oh my gosh, I'm so exhausted. Okay, there's so many hours of doing this, and I have so much left to do. So I'm moving on to my sketchbooks. These are my partially filled sketchbooks, so I am particularly into the idea of getting these finished this year, especially the ones like this one that I've had just sitting around for a few years now with just like, it's just partially done. I used to bring this one to work every day and just kind of sketch the plants around the door, and now I don't ever bring it anywhere. So, oh no, it's the cat's couch. Don't even remember drawing that. This is my living room though. Anyways, I mean, and I did stop bringing this everywhere because it is falling apart. So, yeah. Anyways, so I want to do something with all of these sketchbooks this year. I mean, like, obviously finishing all of these is like an insane goal to have, but and then I have like another shelf of sketchbooks that I haven't even started yet. So I know I've said this already, and I'm going to say it again. This inventory is such a good plan. If you're doing a no-buy, if you're not doing a no-buy, just like taking a step back and going, wow, I really have a lot of stuff. And I bet some of it you don't even remember that you have. So, yeah, I'm really enjoying this process, but I am exhausted and I'm definitely going to quit pretty soon for the day. Also, I just remembered that I promised that I would show you guys like a sneak peek for the next video. I've been working on this guy. And oh, this guy. So that's what's gonna be in my next video. Yeah, but I wanted to give you a sneak peek because I meant to get it done this week, but it didn't happen because I made it more complicated than it needed to be. Yep. Okay, and so here I think is all of the rest of my empty sketchbooks. And paper. I mean, like, these aren't really sketchbooks. They're like, you know, this is a block and this is like loose paper, but I want to make sure that I inventory them, so I am doing it with the rest of my paper. And then I am done for tonight. I haven't done any of like my, I want to do some sort of inventory on my brushes and like my markers and my colored pencil, and I haven't even touched my sculpting supplies yet, but I have no idea how I should even approach that. Like, look at that. How am I inventorying that? What am I gonna do with that? I don't know. Look at all this up here. I don't know. I have no idea. If you have ideas of how you would inventory this stuff in a meaningful way, let me know. I will probably just try to sort everything out anyways. And since we're here just chatting, I'll give you something interesting to look at. I've been working on this for like a year now, and one of the things that I'm going to do as part of my inventory is an accounting of all of my unfinished works that I want to finish this year. So this is going to be one of them. He's the librarian's assistant, so he's going to get finished this year. And this is watercolor. So I I will probably just sort out all of my brushes and try to figure out what I want to use them for and figure out like if I just want to keep track of which ones I use the most. Like, does that make sense? Yeah. So that's probably what I'll end up doing, but if you have good ideas, let me know in the comments. You guys think of some awesome things sometimes. Yeah. So I am probably going to take off now. I appreciate if you watch this video. If you could like and subscribe, awesome. Um, if you are doing a no-buy, leave a comment below and tell me how you're approaching things. Or if you're just going to inventory your art supplies so that you feel like you're managing them more effectively. I think an inventory might be part of like my daily, or not my daily, oh my goodness, my yearly art practice, because I think it's going to really help me keep focused on what I actually want to be spending time on and effort on. Yeah. Yeah. So happy 2023. I'm going to try to just slap this video together and get it out still today on January 1st. Fingers crossed. Yeah, so have a great week, guys. I'm gonna get another video out for you next week sometime, and I will see you then. Bye-bye.